Hello. All right. Hey everyone, this is Kim Jacobs and welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. I am so excited to be on here with you guys today. Wanted to make sure that all of you that are out there listening get exposed to this great guest that I have coming on for your listening pleasure today, but also for some heartwarming, life-changing information. This woman is a woman that is a mother of 4 adult children, graduated from Commerce High School, received her bachelor's degree in health care administration from Kaplan University. She's a nurse. She's been working in the medical field for over 20 years. She's also a published author, and this woman is a force to be reckoned with. Listen, I have in the studio with me today none other than Linda Washington. Let me be very clear. She's in Springfield, Massachusetts right now, coming to you live, and I am interviewing her today, Miss Linda Washington. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, Miss Jacobs. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing even better now that I have you on the line. And I'm so glad to have this opportunity to be able to have you share your story. I've learned so much about you, and to see everything that you've overcome to become who you are today is words really can't even describe how it impacted me. And so I can't wait to go ahead and quickly get into this interview for everyone listening to learn more about you, Linda Washington. Tell us about yourself, Linda.
Well, I've been working in the health field for a long time. I think that was my calling in life, to help people, because I love what I do. I raised my kids as a single mom, and I wrote my book because of the journey that I had to go through when I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
And tell us, when were you diagnosed with breast cancer?
I was diagnosed in 2001.
And how did you find out, Linda, that you had breast cancer? What were some of the signs, and how did you discover it?
Well, I found my own lump. I do my monthly exam, like my doctor always told me to do. And I found my own lump. And when I found it, I was told to stop drinking coffee and stop eating chocolate, and it will go away. It didn't.
Is that a myth? I mean, because people hear that all the time, that if you eliminate caffeine and do the types of things that you just described, that it pretty much either minimizes it or it goes away. And medically, that's theoretically and medically not founded, correct?
No, it's not. As a matter of fact, my tumor got bigger and sore. So when they tell you if they find a tumor and if it's sore, it's not cancerous, don't listen to it, because mine's got bigger and it got sore, and they finally sent me to see a surgeon.
Okay. And during that time when you went to see the surgeon, what stage was your cancer in?
I had breast cancer. When I went to go see the surgeon, she did a biopsy in her office. That same day I went to go see her. And she called me up and told me I had breast cancer. I said, I don't have no breast cancer. They told me to stop drinking caffeine and eating chocolate and it'll go away. What you talking about?
Right.
But I had cancer. And I didn't want to hear it. And my surgeon kept on calling me at home. Linda, you got to do something. You know you have cancer. And I kept on saying, no, I don't, because the other doctor told me I didn't. I was at a loss for words.
So you were totally in denial of it. You would not accept what the physician was sharing with you based on the conflicting information that you'd already received from another physician.
Exactly.
Well, how long did that denial actually last, Linda?
It didn't last long, because by the time she did the biopsy and then I had to go have surgery, I had to have a mastectomy.
Okay.
And then after I had my first mastectomy, my tumor moved over to my other breast.
Okay.
And I had to have another mastectomy. So I had double mastectomy.
Okay. And as you have had the mastectomies, how have you been able to cope in dealing with the removal of both of the breasts to remove the tumors?
At first, it's hard, because you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you don't feel attractive anymore. It's just like, wow. And the way people treat you is even worse. So it's like you got to accept it yourself, but then you go out and you got to have other people try to accept it. And it's hard. It was really hard.
And other people were treating you what kind of way? Like, because I haven't experienced this myself. And so sometimes when you haven't experienced something personally, it's hard to have the level of empathy that's needed, because it's no matter how empathetic you come across, it's just not the same. Like the example I give you, for example, Linda, is I always thought I had compassion and empathy for people that had their children pass away. I would give flowers, I would call, I would go and give meal for the family, doing all manner of things that I believed was actually empathetic. But at the end of the day, believe it or not, it wasn't. It wasn't until I actually experienced the passing of my own son. Then I realized that nothing that I say or do or have ever done in the past was good enough, if that makes sense. It just was never good enough, even though I thought I was being as empathetic as I knew to be. So in your situation, if I personally haven't experienced it and some of the listeners haven't experienced it, how are people treating you when you first went out into the public, and what were you experiencing by their treatment? What was happening? Paint the picture for us.
Well, it's basically, I have people come up to me and tell me, oh, you'll be okay. Because I don't hardly have, they be like a small, like a size A or something, a A cup or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they will come up to me, tell me, "Oh, you okay? Because look at me, I don't hardly have any breast either." I said, "But how are you gonna tell somebody they're gonna be okay? But was your breast removed?"
Right.
It doesn't matter what size you are. It's the fact that they took my breast, so it's not the same. But a lot of them will come up to you and say, "Oh, you're okay. You're gonna be okay. Don't worry about it." But you can't tell somebody that if you ain't been through it.
That's right. And people thought that they were helping you by giving you comforting words, but really the words were an offense to you, is what I'm understanding, correct?
Exactly.
That's interesting, because here's the thing. That's really a good point of piece of advice for people that are listening. Sometimes if we don't know what to say to a person, it's really better just to be nice and be kind and just be regular conversation, versus trying to address that particular issue that you think you're helping with, when in fact you're not being helpful at all. Correct?
Exactly.
Interesting. So ultimately, and I don't really even know what questions to ask you pertaining to your journey that you were experiencing as you were going through your healing process, but if there are any things that you would like to share with the audience that you think could be helpful for other people that are experiencing exactly what you've experienced, what words can you share with them to comfort them and to encourage them as they've been going through their healing process?
You have to have tough skin. You have to be strong within yourself, and don't let anybody bring you down, because they will try. But you have to be strong. You have to be stronger.
And is this something that you ever heal? Like, let me ask this too. I want you to keep telling me some tips. But is this something that you ever get past or get over? I can't envision that it would be something like that.
You really don't get over it. People will not let you get past it. especially if you start to date. And that's the worst.
Okay, dating, you say, is the worst?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, before you go to dating, I know I kind of slightly interrupted you, and I want to make sure that people hear what are the tips you had. Having tough skin is one of the tips. And what else did you say for people going through this?
And you have to just believe in yourself, and you can't give up. You know, you have to love yourself.
Okay,
love yourself. If nobody else is going to love you, you got to love yourself.
Tough skin and loving yourself. Excellent. And loving yourself. I'm writing these notes myself. Because if you're listening out here and you know people that they've survived breast cancer, they have had mastectomies, double mastectomies, then we can learn from Linda some of the compassion that needs to be shown in these situations versus trying to pass judgment or trying to give advice and counsel when we're not the counselor in that regard. So having tough skin and loving yourself. Wow. Now you talked about dating. Now you entered the dating scene with the double mastectomy. How did that work for you?
It didn't.
Okay.
It didn't.
Do you want to?
You would go out on dates and everything will be fine, but as soon as they find out that you're a breast cancer survivor, it's like a whole 360. We can be friends, you know. They will try anything. They will cheat on you and make excuses. Oh, I had one guy tell me, oh, sometime I need a woman that got real breasts. I'm like, oh, really? And it was a nightmare. You know, they treat you like you're not, that you're nothing. That you're really not nothing. Because when I first started to date, I got beaten, and then I got raped, and then I was told I need to get used to that because I wasn't a real woman anymore.
Oh my God, you're kidding me.
You know, but I was called worthless. It was a nightmare. It's a nightmare to try to get out there and date. I haven't dated over 10 years.
10, you said?
10 years.
Oh my gosh.
So it's hard, and it just boggles me because these men these days go out with women that has implants. So what do you think breast cancer survivors have? They have implants.
Well, one thing, of course, you know, just being a spiritual person too, that I could obviously, since it's my show and I can get a chance to inject some of my own thoughts and theories, if that makes sense. But this is not regarding just your breasts or having them or not having them. If I'm allowed and if you would give me permission only, am I given permission to share something with you? Because all the listeners are listening too. So I want to make sure I have your permission on my show to give you any of my personal opinion, because I don't usually do that.
Okay.
I do have your permission?
You do.
Okay. Because one thing, and I can tell the beautiful spirit that you have, and you have a beautiful spirit, and it comes through even on our interview long distance. And I'm sure everyone, as you are listening to Linda, you may comment and give some feedback and some positive words of encouragement. But I also encourage you, Linda, to just let people get the opportunity to know you with your clothes on. I can tell with your clothes on, you're a beautiful soul. You're a beautiful soul. And if someone cares enough to get to know enough about you at a deeper level, by the time they ever get to the undergarment areas, because I mean, anybody can fake anybody out with, you know, putting extra stuff like you said. But really, if I'm clothed and you're loving me and wanting to have a deeper relationship with me, what is underneath the clothing should not deter you if God is putting you as my soulmate for life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And if somebody is not going to value you because of some things that had to be removed in order for you to be uh, able to survive and live on this earth, then they don't deserve you. They don't even deserve to even be eating across the table from you. Because at the end of the day, you are a beautiful jewel, and you are so worthy of someone loving you and honoring you and appreciating and valuing you. And this advice is not just for you being a breast cancer, double mastectomy, thriver and survivor type of thing at all. This is for any woman, including myself. And I'm speaking for all of us as women, that we are worthy of love and honor and adoration and admiration. And we should be able to have clothes on and be able to have eye contact and love, hugs, and kisses from the perspective of we're going to be on this journey together. So you don't even want someone that's calling you names or disrespecting you and disregarding you, and they haven't even committed to you to be your, long-term soulmate,
Exactly.
So I'm excited, actually, when I hear you say that these guys, these duds, actually left you alone, or you cut it off for whatever the reason, because at the end of the day, you are going to be a better person as a result of severing those horrible, toxic relationships that do not have your best interest at heart. So that 10 years, be gone. How about that? I got to put a little bit of sound effects in there for that. Let me see. Yes, I'll give my own self a round of applause. Because at the end of the day, Linda, I really want you to be able to have a positive relationship with someone that genuinely cares about you. And if I'm not mistaken, has that happened?
It has, but I pushed them away.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, I thought I had read and researched and found out that love was right there on the horizon. What is going on, Linda? I thought you found your boo.
I did.
Well, let me say this too. You don't need to find anybody. He that finds a wife finds a good thing. So if you're out searching and looking and trying to figure out who Mr. Right's going to be, that's not even the right thing being done decently and in order. So at the end of the day, we are supposed to be found by our soulmates, because he that finds a wife finds a good thing, not the other way around. So let him find you.
He did.
Okay, so tell me about him. Who is he?
His name is oh my God. His name is
Wait. Before we go on the air live saying somebody's name, are you comfortable talking about this person? And is he okay? Come on, let's talk about him then.
Okay, he seen me. He saw me. He was helping me believe in myself again, and I pushed him away because I didn't want to hurt him, because I was still hurt.
Well, and it sounds like that's normal in some instances, because you're going through your own trials and tribulations. Yeah. But
it's like the wrong time, it was the wrong time, the wrong place.
But now, have you invited him back into your circle, into your world, or no?
I tried. I would like that, but I don't know.
What's his name? What's his name again?
His name is Bradley Becker.
Bradley?
Uh-huh.
Okay, Mr. Bradley, if you're out there listening, this is Kim Jacobs from The Kim Jacobs Show. I definitely cannot speak on behalf of Linda Washington at all, but I can definitely tell you that the most positive conversation that she's had to date with any man's name associated in it. It has been that with Mr. Bradley. So keep that in mind, that for whatever way you've come into her life, it was impactful in a very positive way as a part of her positive journey and her story. So I don't know what God will have for the two of you in the future, and that's definitely not my place to determine. But I'll say that Mr. Bradley, thank you for allowing her story that's being shared right here on the Kim Jacobs Show to have a positive connotation to it. And that's just for you. Kudos to, let me give you a round of applause, Mr. Bradley. Thank you, Mr. Bradley, for allowing a part of her smile to come from you entering into her life. Okay, so Linda, I know you have children. How has this impacted, when you found out about breast cancer, that it impacted your relationship with your children, and how have they played a role in your healing process?
When I found out I had breast cancer, my kids was my backbone. My kids was there with me through everything. Sitting in the waiting room when I had my surgeries, going to the doctors with me. My kids was there. I don't think I really could have made it without them.
Look at God. Look at God. How many? You have 4 adult children, you say. Tell us a little bit about each of them, the 4 children.
Excuse me?
Tell us a little bit about your 4 children.
I have my oldest daughter. She works for insurance, so she lives in Arizona. Well, and my two sons, they live in Arizona also. And then my one daughter, she's in Massachusetts with me.
Oh, cool. Okay. And she helps you? She helps you a lot there?
Yeah, she does.
Aw, that's awesome. I'm proud to know that your children rallied around you that way, because not everyone has that kind of support system. Who are others that are like a part of your support circle?
Well, my sister, she was a big part of my support system. Family is very important. Okay. But I would have to say my kids and my sister, they was my big supporter.
Excellent. And that's helped you get to where you are now. Where would you say you are at this phase? Because this was how many years ago that you found out? 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm at a better place now. I'm at a place right now where I can sit and I sat and wrote my book. And I'm also became a recording artist. I mean, so I think I'm at a better place right now than where I was back then.
Okay. And what is the name of your book? And tell us a little bit about it.
My book or my song?
Your book first. I know the title of your book is Forbidden and Broken, Finding Love Behind the Scars, My Journey.
Yeah.
Why that title? And tell us about the book.
The book is about what I went through with my cancer. You know, how you lose friends and how you know who your friends are and who your family is when you're sick. Dating. The nightmare I went through when I was dating. Me keeping to myself. Didn't want to be around anybody because I didn't feel attractive enough. I didn't believe in myself for a long time. And and then it shows you all my emotions, the ups, the downs, the hurt, the pain, you know, but what you got to do to come out of it. You know, you have to learn how to believe in yourself. And once you start believing in yourself, then you can go from there. You know, being put down, telling you you're worthless, you're not a real woman, you know, those are hurtful words. Very. And that stayed with me for a long time. And it took a lot, but I knew that I was better than that.
Well, I'm glad that you wrote this book, and I'm so glad that you got it out of your head and bogging you down in your heart and putting it out on paper to help other women that are experiencing similar things. And where can people get this book?
At Amazon.com.
Oh, good. Okay, so on Amazon.com, everyone, please go and support Linda Washington by purchasing the book Forbidden and Broken, Finding Love Behind the Scars, My Journey. That book is available. The author is Linda Washington, and it's available on Amazon. What a great gift to give someone for the holidays that you know either is a breast cancer survivor, someone that's struggling with dealing with dating bad guys and people that are just not good for them, people that are surviving breast cancer, and people that just need to know how to understand people that may be going through situations like this. I'm sure that in Linda's book, you'll be able to get some answers that can help you be able to help other people in a situation very similar. So I'm grateful that you wrote that book. And let's also find out, what about your song? What's the name of your song?
My song is called Take Me, I'm Yours.
Take Me, I'm Yours. Okay, you're the originator of that?
Yes, I am.
You wrote and produced it yourself, and where do you sing your song? Where do you have it out?
It's on SoundCloud. It's on Spotify. I mean, it's out there.
Okay, Take Me, I'm Yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By Linda Washington, SoundCloud, Spotify, you name it, it's out there, and you can get your copy of Take Me, I'm Yours, a song written by Linda Washington. Linda, how can people get in touch with you? Because you're such an inspiration. And so there may be people that want to have you come out and speak. They may want to have you, talk to a group of breast cancer survivors, or just tell your story to some young ladies. Or how can people get you?
They can get me on Facebook. You can get me on Facebook and under Forbidden and Broken, under my book, Forbidden and Broken, Finding Love Behind the Scars, on Facebook.
Okay. So if you are interested in having Linda come out and speak to your organization, your church, your women's group, any kind of singing that you're going to be bringing someone in to sing, definitely consider Linda Washington. You can reach out to her on Facebook under Forbidden and Broken, and that's under Forbidden and Broken, Finding Love Behind the Scars. She has a Facebook page set up, and you can reach out to her directly. I am excited that we've had this time together, Linda. Is there anything that you want people to know that you may not have gotten a chance to share during our interview today?
I just want people to know that cancer was the disease, not the person that had it.
Oh my God.
And you might be missing out on that special someone because of the fear that you feel. You should never treat anybody the way you wouldn't want to treat your own mother or your sister or your daughter or your wife. Just show respect. They didn't ask for this disease, but they beat it. And they shouldn't have to suffer the rest of their life for it because they did.
You don't listen, everybody that's listening to my show today, that is a mouthful that Linda just shared. Cancer is the disease, it's not the person. A person still on this earth survived and is thriving in spite of having the disease. But to have to go through human torture because of something that they couldn't control is beyond unfair. And so those are just wonderful pearls of wisdom that Linda just shared. And I really hope that every man listening, every woman listening, understands her journey and her plight of what she's done to overcome this disease that really, literally took a part of her. And so I'm grateful that you've been on today, Linda. And what I would love is if you'd be kind enough to let's close out the Kim Jacobs show today with a song by Linda Washington. Is that okay to do, Linda?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and do my closeout too, guys, to let you know. As you tune into the Kim Jacobs show, I would love for you to give some feedback, give comments. What did you learn from today's show? What are your takeaway points? Make sure you're interacting with me. That's the only way I'm going to come on the air. I don't come on the air just to be coming on, and I don't even know if it's impacting your life or anything. So give me some feedback. talk to me here at the Kim Jacobs Show. And listen, if you are a mother out there and you have goals and you have dreams, and some people say, hey, I'm not a mother by trade where I don't have a physical child, but I'd love to birth my dream, then go and join the Mother Dreamer movement. motherdreamer.com/join. motherdreamer.com/join. And you can be a part of a movement of women that have goals and dreams, and we are determined to make those become a reality. So on today's show, we're going to close out by having a great song from my special guest today, Linda Washington. And that's how we're going to close out the Kim Jacobs Show. When she finishes her song, then tune in next time. Go ahead and take it away, Linda.
Your eyes tell me no lies. The love we share feels so good to be here with you holding me so closely. Kiss me, hold me, tell me you love me, caress me, assure me you love me, you love me. You give me all I need, the only one I see. You see past all my scars. I love you. You show me how it feels to love someone that's real. You see the beauty in all my flaws. Nobody can tell me how you love me. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Linda, and God bless you, audience. God bless you, Linda Washington. Thank you for being my special guest today. Talk to you all next time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.